royalty. We wanted to do a different type of training for tonight, and this was inspired just by understanding the power in my econ for ourselves, but at the same time, we understand that you might not really know what you have. You might be sleeping on what you have, so we want to put it in front of you so you can get a glimpse of what other people see in my econ and have benefited from in my econ, and we want you to be able to do some of the same things that they were able to do. But before we get started, hello, you got Mr.
and Mrs.
Smith, and in this brief training, it's going to be short and sweet, but to the point. I want you to watch it, and I want you to feel it more importantly. But before we get to talking about what the training is about, because we're not going to do a whole lot of talking. We're going to let the training speak for itself. We're going to talk about some of the new members who have graced the royalty movement. We got a couple of new members that we want to shout out. Queen, you want to take us away?
Yes, let's do it. All right, so a huge welcome, y'all. We want you to go crazy. I want you to sit on the heart button. I want you to go crazy. And let's welcome these kings and queens to the movement. We have Miss DeHavenly Clark. We have Miss Kiana Carter. Sadia Coleman. Welcome, queens. We have Gingy Miller. Tawana Courtney. Rosetta Durden. And Jose Guapo. Welcome, kings and queens, to the royalty movement. I'm going to weave in a quick announcement. Please make sure you dive into the announcements at the top of this Facebook group, okay? Once we finish here, go to the announcements. It used to be called the pinned post. There you are going to see the royalty 30-day challenge that's going to give you your 30-day game plan. It's literally a blueprint of what you can be doing within your first 30 days. Keep looking. The call schedule is included. You need to be in the loop. Learn every single training call that we hop on every single week and how we got to the position that we are in my econ. Another thing is you want to make sure you're reviewing the royal flush. We're still waiting to see who will be the first king or queen to accomplish a royal flush within their first 90 days. Now, for the members that have been associated with our team for much, much longer than 90 days, some of you guys have been rocking with us for years, set a goal of 90 days. We want you to challenge yourself to achieve a royal flush, and you'll see exactly what that is by going to the announcements of this group. You guys, we have it all laid out for you. Literally, if you never hear from your sponsor again, if you never hear from us again, you have a blueprint that can take you really, really far in my econ. We've done a lot of groundwork. We put documents together for the team. A website was built for the team. We have content on top of content. We have a YouTube channel. We have all types of things for you to stay plugged in and go extremely far. All you have to do is do your due diligence, make the time to work on your goals every single day, and you'll go extremely far.
And that's really what it's all about, staying exposed and keeping information in front of you. We understand there's a lot of distractions, a lot of things going on. So the last thing you need is to be distracted from your goals. If you're not tuning into the things that we put in front of you, then it's a good chance that something can take you off course, and before you know it, it's 2022. You see how fast the years fly by. Every year seems to go by a little bit faster. So we need you plugged in and tuned in to what it is that we put in front of you, because I promise you, we're not trying to distract you. We just want to help you hit your goals and get you to understand the benefits and the power in my econ. Now, towards the end, at the very end of this, it's going to be a queen, I believe she was 86 at the time, who said that had she been in my econ sooner, she could have been a billionaire. A billionaire would have been had she been in my econ sooner. What does that tell you? She's 86. I'm sure you're nowhere near it. So that being said, that means you can implement what we put in place, what my econ has put in place, and benefit and take your finances and your wealth to the next level. Lastly, one thing that a recent queen who joined said she loved is the fact that it was some type of blueprint or guidance, and the 30-day steps did not overwhelm her. She was like, I love this. I need this. This is what I like, something that kind of gives me a pace that I can follow. And truth be told, she was only joining for the credit. So she joined for the DIY credit, but the fact that she saw something that can guide her along her journey, along her process, she was excited to know that in the event that she did want to take My Econ from a full perspective and really help people with it or benefit from the personal financial success that comes along with it, she had a blueprint to follow. So my question to you is, why are you not tapping into it?
Yeah.
So tap into it, tap into it, tap into it.
Don't sleep on it.
Absolutely. And let's get into this. I want you to hear from people who have benefited and have a passion. I want you to feel this information, not just listen, not just watch it, but I want you to feel it. And we're going to get quiet when the video is playing. So let's pop it off with the first one.
Well, before I'm a federal employee, so we was getting ready to go through a furlough time frame. This was going to cost me $600 a month. I got with a friend of mine who showed me My Econ. And just from strategy number one, I increased my income to $5 figures, which got me over that hump. And since that time, I carried over and started building my own business. And income shifted over $100,000.
That king said he was furloughed from his job, implemented the strategies, income shifted over $100,000. Let's hear it from a 20-year mortgage loan officer. See, a lot of people think that in order to join My Econ, you have to be struggling. Get out of that mentality. It's people who are not struggling, who are actually plugged into other things and understand money that need My Econ because they need a tool that can help them help more people. Let's tune in.
Before My Econ, I've had numerous years, over 20 years in financial services area as a mortgage loan officer, 5 years as a speaker for nonprofit and financial literacy. And since I've become involved with My Econ, initially my wife and I, just by learning some of the strategies ourselves, we were able to increase our cash flow initially with My Econ by $600 a month or $7,200 a year. But our primary objective and goal in the business is to be able to help other individuals have financial wealth and success in their personal lives. We're very excited about that. We're very excited about what My Econ has to offer individuals. And we're glad to be a part of that process and being able to bring success to other people's lives as well as success, stories to My Econ as to helping people accomplish the objectives of My Econ.
See, this is what you got to understand is some people who may want to join because they want to be a blessing to others. All right, you should recognize those names. We might look a little slightly different, but you should recognize those names. Let's go.
Hello, you got Mr. Smith. And prior to joining My Econ, I mean, honestly, we had no clue about money. I mean, me personally, my family, they didn't know anything about minimizing taxes, getting out of debt, boosting their credit score, passive residual income, asset accumulation, and since they didn't know anything about it, how could they teach it? So I knew nothing literally about money until I started seeking it. And when I found My Econ, I was like, why is this not something that I didn't learn in school? So since being in My Econ, we've literally been able to cash flow to $200,000, get credit scores over 800, get out of debt, and work full time from home and not have to rely on the job. And we're just anxious and excited to help others get on the right track to being investors and bettering their finances, and anxious to help couples all across America get on track, because money is one of the things that couples lack in their discussion and in their education. So we're excited to share this with the masses.
Yes, you guys, and we're parents. We have twin boys that are almost 4 years old, and it's just a really refreshing feeling to be able to travel with them everywhere we go, both business and personal, and just be able to see them as much as possible. So our suggestion is to get with the person who shared this information with you, get started with My Econ as soon as possible, and you will not regret it. That's all we got.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Sign it out.
Let's keep it moving, shall we? All right. Now, this queen paid off over $50,000 in debt, invested to create cash flow over $400,000, which led to being over $500,000, then over $1 million in cash flow. But at the time of this recording, it was over $400,000. Do not sleep on what you have. You have something of value.
Actually, like before my econ, I was very financially illiterate. My husband and I were professionals in our community. We had children. I was not sure how to manage money. He's a coach. I'm a corporate secretary. We were making good money and did not know why we were still struggling. We were struggling to have our money from day to day to make bills. I guess we were the average people that were living from paycheck to paycheck. Well, when I was introduced to income shifting strategy, it was through Mr. Stokes, who came to Arkansas, and I happened to be the only person in the room that day, and I enrolled. I've been with this company for 12 years since its inception, and Mr. Ivy Stokes, along with the other Alvin Curry, Mr. Leon Gibbs, and Mr. Edward Townsend, began to teach us how to change our W-4, how to save on our taxes, how to eliminate our debt, and how to build new credit as well as to invest. And since then, what I did immediately, I increased my cash flow by $12,000 annually because we changed our W-4 form. I began to save $6,000 a year on my taxes, and then we came out of bankruptcy, built new credit, was able to get things at a lower interest rate. We paid off over $50,000 worth of debt, and then we turned around and made investments that increased our cash flow by over $450,000. Now listen, the amazing thing is I didn't even know that my husband wanted to go into the cattle business. Well, he began to talk with Mr. Stokes about all of this investment education. How about we got cows over in Arkansas? So I'm excited about what income shifting strategy has done for me, and it's a blessing for everybody that began to take the concept and work it.
I don't want y'all to miss that. She said they came out of bankruptcy. So many people think that is the end when bankruptcy presents them or hits their front door. They're faced with that decision to go bankrupt. Well, she came out of bankruptcy using my econ, which led to them creating cash flow and acquiring an asset, and that asset just so happened to be cattle. So we believe in cash, asset, cash. You take cash, buy, build, and grow an asset, which can be your business or reinvesting in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or even cattle, and that can help you become wealthy. Let's keep going.
Before my econ, I had no investments. I was struggling financially. I had over $100,000 worth of debt. And then when I got in my econ and started using the strategies, I was able to eliminate $100,000 my first year in business. I cash flowed over $300,000, and now I'm putting more money into my investment portfolio so I can be a cash flow millionaire.
Now, he brushed over that smoothly, but he said he eliminated $100,000 worth of debt in his first year in business. So some of that is from cash flow, adjusting in W-4 like we teach and preach. Some of that is business income because it wouldn't have been possible for him to knock out $100,000 with just the W-4 alone, with just minimizing expenses, cutting back on things that he might have been spending money on. But by him knowing that he had something and sharing it with others, $100,000 worth of debt was wiped out. So think about that. Think about the power in what you have to create that type of income that can complement the other strategies that you teach or that we teach that you can use in order to better your finances. Add it on with some income that pays out every week, you can hit your goals a lot faster. Next up, we got a pastor, and I'll let him tell his story himself.
Well, before my econ, I've been in business for myself officially since 2005. We were pastoring, my wife and I, in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and we were living good, looking good, driving good, but we were broke, right? And so as a result of that, being introduced to my econ, now we have an even greater perspective on our financial lives. We've been able to help so many people with their finances all across the country. It is just amazing how God has used us to be a blessing to so many. And as a result of the My Econ principles, we started teaching those principles at our church where I pastor. And we were able to pay off our church mortgage early.
How many pastors do you know that have a paid-off church mortgage? Not many. And we're actually a part of his organization. So if you're in the royalty movement, then Pastor Danders is a part of your upline support. We're part of his organization, but to know that you have your church paid off is a good feeling. Look at the fact that 2020 took place. A lot of church doors closed. So if the church doors closed, then it wasn't a lot of traction coming in, and it wasn't a lot of people attending church. Now, I know they may have did their virtual thing, but how good of a feeling is it to know that your mortgage is paid on your church prior to something like the pandemic? All from the power of MyEcon. You got a powerful resource. I don't want you to sleep on it. It's right there in your hand. It's right there in your back pocket. You encounter and you're connected with so many people who can benefit. Now, stick around to the end, because I want to show you an 86-year-old who said that she could have been a billionaire had she had this tool sooner. And I know you got it a lot sooner, age-wise, than she did. But that's the next video. For now, let's tune into these, and I hold her for the end, and we'll wrap it up.
Before MyEcon, all I did was spend my money and get my taxes taken from my check, basically. And once I was educated on the principles of MyEcon and how income shifting can change my financial situation, I looked into it, and when I got my first income shift on my paycheck, I had forgot I had even submitted my W-4 change, so I had to recalculate my hours because I was trying to figure out where all this money came from, and then I realized I had an income shift, and when I realized that, the next time I got paid and it happened again, I became a mouthpiece. I started telling everybody about income shifting because I didn't know that you could get more of your money back on your own paycheck every time you got paid. So the more I work, the more money I get back.
Before MyEcon, I was living from paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have the knowledge about adjusting my W-4 form, so therefore, Uncle Sam was still taking 10% of my income, and I was losing. And so I was in debt, trying to find a way to become successful, running my own business, but still living from paycheck to paycheck. Since becoming a member of MyEcon, 90 days in, and I am EBT Gold at this time, thanks to God, I have adjusted my W-4 form, and we have at least $400 to $500 coming back into our household each month, which we are applying to debt. We have paid off $1,000 in debt. We have cash flow $4,000, and we have actually joined about 22 people to our team within less than 90 days. MyEcon is a recipe for success, and if you're not a part of this, you need to get some information, not tomorrow, but today. Thank you.
I have met before MyEcon. I had not looked at my W-4. This is a real story. I had not looked at my W-4 in over 20 years. So I had 2 kids, we got married, still never looked at my W-4. Once I was introduced to these financial strategies that the wealthy use, hey, it's not a secret. All we have to do is become financial literate, learn how to apply these strategies. Since MyEcon, I have cash flowed over $316 a month back into my paycheck, and cash flow cumulative in the 18 months I've been with MyEcon, over $100,000. So learn these financial strategies, learn how to apply them, and I promise you your life will change.
Well, I've been an entrepreneur for several years and blessed to make a lot of money in the industry. But the one thing that happened before MyEcon and after MyEcon is that normally I would pay every single quarter just to keep up with my taxes, and would still owe at the end of the year. After getting involved with MyEcon, I learned everything that I could deduct off from my taxes, based on my income, based on my expenses. I was actually able this year to get back a tax return of over $6,000, where normally I end up paying about $2,000 or $3,000 every month. So that's been a big change for me right there. So that was the biggest thing for me right now, is getting back a tax return of an additional $6,000, where I normally have to pay every single year.
Life before MyEcon, I'm a single mother of a 5-year-old. Working sun up to sundown, every other paycheck, or paycheck to paycheck, or month to month. Since MyEcon, I've cash flowed an extra $300 per month on my current job. I started my investment fund account, and I've also started my emergency fund. I've currently been able to pay off 7 credit cards. I've upgraded my lifestyle. I was able to give my son his own room. So, life has been great since MyEcon.
Life before MyEcon, you're looking at somebody firsthand that knows about bankruptcy, foreclosure, voluntary repossession, bad credit, bad spending habits. After MyEcon, first strategy, brought in an extra $465 a month, got my credit score up from a 528 to a 730. I'm in the process of buying a new home. I've acquired 2 new rental properties, and I actually was able to get 2 much-needed vehicles for me and my wife with a low interest rate, man, and life is great.
Before MyEcon, our life, we lived paycheck to paycheck. We was in debt. Not only is that, we didn't pay taxes for 10 years because I was a nurse and he's a dietary manager, and our income combined together was between $80,000 to $90,000 a year. So before then, I was doing my taxes while I was single, and so I didn't file for like 10 years. So I was scared to file because we were making so much money, and I knew we was going to go to tax bracket. So I just stood them on the bus and had my jury box. Anyway, I got introduced to MyEcon by a friend of mine, and I went to a tax class. And when I went to this tax class, this guy was teaching the tax class, and he was telling us about home-based businesses and the home-based business taxes. And I had been in the home-based business ever since 2005, and I didn't have a clue about the tax rate. So when he did the class, and he was a tax professional, he ended up doing my taxes. He went 3 years back. I got $20,000 back. And the light bulb came on in my head then. And my husband was always against network marketing. He was always against it. He was always razzing about doing some business. But we didn't know that by being in a home-based business and all the tax deductions, we lost all over those, all 10 years I didn't file, we probably lost about $7,000 to $8,000 a year for not filing. So I tell anybody that if you want to know anything about MyEcon, hey, this is the place to be. This is the best business I've been in. And since then, we have cash flow over $25,000 last year. This year, we have cash flow over $25,000 this year. And also, I gave myself a pay raise. I'm a nurse as well. So my check, $500 pay raise every pay period. And he gave himself a pay raise as well. So that is our story. We're sticking with it, and we love MyEcon.
MyEcon go.
Okay, so before joining MyEcon, I just was, a single mom of 3, going to work every day. And I found myself always needing to make a little bit extra. And I found myself in between jobs, and things got a little critical for me financially, and I found myself facing foreclosure in my home. And I was in other businesses trying to make things work, but it just wasn't quite hitting the way I expected it to. So a friend of mine told me I should take a look at something. And I told her, quite honestly, I'm not interested in looking at nothing else. I'm burnt out. I just don't want to do it. She said, sis, I really need you to take a look at this. So I took a look at it, and I said, you know something? I need to do this because right now I'm critical. Things are critical in my home. I'm getting foreclosure notices. The sheriff even came to my house. Well, I joined MyEcon. I did my income shifting, and within my first 6 weeks of business, I made over $4,600 and was able to take that money, add it to what I already had, and paid $9,500 to my mortgage company and stop my foreclosure. So MyEcon rescued me. It saved my life. And ever since then, I have just been telling everybody I know about the power of this little hidden gem that still so many people don't know about. So if you're not in MyEcon, you need to get and meet MyEcon. Because I can promise you, even though you may not actually be in it, you're in it. You're just not really in MyEcon, all right? So I just want to encourage you that if I can do it, if you're facing a hardship, if you're facing a crisis, if you know somebody who's facing a crisis, this is the company you need to pair yourself up with, because like it rescued me, I'm certain, I'm confident it can rescue you too.
Well, let me tell you, I've been in MyEcon for almost 3 years, and before MyEcon, I was in the military, and I was a human resource person in the military, so I basically helped my soldiers complete the 4W4 and get knowledge, to make sure, but I didn't have any idea what I was doing when I was talking to those soldiers and teaching them basically how to income shift, but I wasn't teaching them the right thing. When I retired from the military and I found out about
my econ. I changed my W-4. I put almost $700 back in my paycheck, my husband and I together, every month. Since I've been in my econ, we have cash flow over $100,000. And I'm telling you, all you got to do is use the strategies, all the strategies with my econ. Change your from W-4, eliminate that debt, use that money to invest in your financial freedom years, and I'm telling you, it's really that easy.
Woo! If you didn't feel them, if that didn't light you up, if that didn't get you on fire, your wood wet. But last but not least, this queen said she could have been a billionaire had she known about my econ sooner. You got to understand what you got, kings and queens. I mean, I know we try to drill it to you and hammer it in on you, but, you know, truth be told, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. So, in other words, if we're convincing you of what you have, then you won't shift your opinion. The best way for you to shift your own opinion is to not be convinced, but to be convicted based on you implementing and doing what it is that's being taught. So last but not least, this queen said she would have been a billionaire, and we're going to wrap it up here.
Hey guys, it's Kelsey Reed here, and I have Miss Murdy with me here. Miss Murdy, how old are you? 86. 86 years old. So guys, this is me telling you guys that we have no excuse, right? So Miss Murdy, tell me why you joined my econ.
Well, I have to keep my mind fresh, so I needed to learn how to do it, and it helps me a lot with my finances.
Helps you a lot with your finances. So what have you done, Miss Murdy, regarding your credit score here?
My credit score was 640. It's now 794.
Your credit score better than mine. I'm working on it, Miss Murdy. I've got to a 760. Hey guys, so tell me, how long have you been in my econ?
What happened was I was in it at first in inception, and then I got out and I got back in. But my spirit was troubled when I got out, so I figured I was supposed to be in. So I'm staying in this time.
So you're in your 60s when you got started, though.
Yeah.
So what would your life be like, per se, if you had started earlier? I know the company wasn't around when you were younger, but what if you had this information when you were younger, in your 20s and 30s, maybe 40s?
Oh, I would be a billionaire by now.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to start from where you are to make the mark into where you want to go.
Yeah.
You can't sit on the sideline and wait. You've got to get up and do something. And that's what I'm doing.
Well, that's for all us young folks and older folks out here. Miss Murdy says you can't sit on the sideline and wait. You got to get up and do something.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
In conclusion, I mean, I really don't have much to say. I really don't have to say much. But if you want to know the power of my econ, replay that and imagine yourself.
Again, the mainstream.
Sorry about that. Imagine yourself giving your testimony. And your testimony has the ability to grow month after month, year after year, just because you're implementing the things that are being taught. So remain focused. Don't get distracted, because you really have a jewel that many people wish they had access to. I know it's a lot of education and information out there, but the simplicity of what we teach in my econ to go along with the other things that can help propel the strategies that we teach is second to none. So understand what you have in my econ, and if you must, watch those testimonies over and over and over again. See which one resonates with you, and set a goal to accomplish the goal that somebody else may have accomplished, that tells a story that resonates with you. And then you got to understand that once you have your own story, your story is not meant to be kept to yourself. It's meant to be shared and help someone else. That's all I got. Hopefully you got some value out of this different type of training just to get my econ inside of you. You might be in my econ, but I want my econ to get inside of you. Salute.